Hello everyone. Today I'll be showing the pharynx, which is a fibromuscular tube. This is the sagittal section of head and neck. So you'll see some bony parts first, then we'll go to the pharynx proper. So this is a nasal cavity, oral cavity. You can see the teeth over here. This is a tongue. This part is larynx. So we will concentrate on this area which is called as pharynx. Before that, we'll see some bony things here. This is the sphenoid bone, basi-occiput. This is the arch of the first cervical vertebra, the second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth cervical vertebra. So the pharynx extends from the base of the skull, that is from the sphenoid bone here, up to the base of the sixth cervical vertebra. Or this cartilage is the cricoid cartilage till the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. Beyond that, it continues as esophagus. Pharynx is divided into three subdivisions: nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx communicates with the nasal cavity. Oropharynx communicates with the oral cavity, and this is laryngopharynx, which communicates with the larynx. We'll go to individual subdivisions. First is nasopharynx. Nasopharynx extends from the base of the skull up to soft palate. So this structure over here is a soft palate which is attached to the posterior border of hard palate. So this much is nasopharynx. And anterior to this part is a nasal cavity. So this is an area called as nasopharynx. Now anteriorly, as you know, it communicates freely with the nasal cavity. Above, it is related to the sphenoid bone. Behind to the basi-occiput and the first cervical vertebra. So this is an anterior arch of first cervical vertebra. Coming to the features of the nasopharynx, this part is a roof. In this area, you can find the nasopharyngeal tonsil. It is enlarged in infants, so you cannot see it properly here. Coming to the features on the lateral wall, we can see the opening of the auditory tube over here. So this is the opening for the medial end of the auditory tube. The other end lies in the tympanic cavity. Just above the opening of the auditory tube, there is an elevation. This is called as tubal elevation. This elevation is due to the medial end of the auditory tube. Just above that, there is tubal tonsil, which we cannot appreciate here because it is aggregation of lymphoid tissue. Just behind the tubal elevation, there is a recess here. This is called as pharyngeal recess. So these are the features in the nasopharynx. Coming to the oropharynx, below the level of the soft palate is the oropharynx. Oropharynx communicates freely above with the nasopharynx through this opening, which is called as pharyngeal isthmus. So the space here is called as pharyngeal isthmus. This oropharynx communicates anteriorly freely with the oral cavity, above with the nasopharynx and below with the laryngopharynx. So this is upper margin of epiglottis. So this becomes the lower limit of oropharynx. Posteriorly, oropharynx is related to the second and the third cervical vertebra. Anteriorly, this is soft palate, this is tongue. So we can see an arch connecting the soft palate to the tongue. This is called as palatoglossal arch. There is one more arch coming from the soft palate to the pharynx that is seen over here. This is called as palatopharyngeal arch. So we get a space over here, a triangular depression, which is called as tonsillar fossa. Above, it is bounded by the soft palate. Below, we have the dorsal surface of posterior 1/3 of the tongue, anteriorly palatoglossal arch and posteriorly palatopharyngeal arch. So this triangular depression is the tonsillar fossa, and we can see the palatine tonsil over here lying in the tonsillar fossa. The communication between the oral cavity and the oropharynx is through the oropharyngeal isthmus. So the boundaries are: above we have soft palate, on either side we have palatoglossal arch. Because it is sagittal section, we are seeing only arch of one side, and base is formed by the tongue, dorsal surface of posterior 1/3 of the tongue. Coming to the laryngopharynx, below the level of upper border of epiglottis till the lower border of cricoid cartilage, this much is the extent of laryngopharynx. It is related posteriorly to C4, C5 and C6 cervical vertebra. So this is laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx communicates with the larynx through the laryngeal inlet. So this is a cavity of larynx. Through the inlet, laryngopharynx communicates with the larynx. And lateral wall of the laryngopharynx has got a depression here, or a fossa. It is called as pyriform fossa. So this depression is pyriform fossa. It is clinically important because foreign body can get lodged over here. The same thing we can see it, appreciate it better in this specimen. This cavity is laryngeal cavity. So this is laryngeal inlet, and whatever lies behind the larynx, this space is laryngopharynx. So on the either side of the laryngeal inlet, we have the pyriform fossa. This is laryngeal inlet. So this is pyriform fossa on the either side. So these are the features to be seen in the laryngopharynx. Thank you.